here's the last girl out of the 4 new ones. Blue's on the case as usual. I'm gonna go in the cage and I don't have as disciplined a schedule as I'd like to for DryFire. I know it'll make me a better shooter. I need to implement it, so I'm going to start doing it first thing in the morning on the weekends and when I get home after work. First thing is safety when it comes to dry firing. So make sure that you have safe surroundings. Make sure that all live ammunition is away from the gun, and make sure that you can point in a safe direction where if something goes wrong, no one will get hurt. Luckily, I have no neighbors. So for today's dry fire, I decided to start off with Ben Steger's bar hop drill. For those of you who are unfamiliar, go ahead and look it up. It's a fantastic drill. I use it at work, I use it here at home. I think it's great. Starting off with this drill, it's a little complex. It gets the brain moving a little bit and making sure that I'm doing all my fundamentals well while getting good reps in. Basically, the points of performance here are making sure that I'm staying target focused, making sure that my movement doesn't interrupt my target progression, and make sure that I have the proper grip and stance when I am finished moving. I want to be able to move again if I have to. As with any transition drill, you want to make sure your eyes are leading the gun and then just allow the gun to catch up. Windy today, but honestly, November, plus 70 degrees before 10 a.m. I can't complain, so I'm going to push through it. I want to get 10 perfect reps before I move on. So what is a good rep? A good rep for me during dry fire means I did everything like I was going to do if I was doing live fire. A real grip, not a light hand. I got a real sight alignment, sight picture while staying target focused if the distance allows, and I'm getting good follow through and gaining good information. During my dry fire drills, I don't necessarily push the trigger every time, depending on what I'm working on. Right now, I'm working on movement and staying visually locked to the target so I'm not pressing the trigger. But if the trigger is used, if every single one of my trigger presses is perfect, I know I'm not pushing myself hard enough, and I'll either drop the time or increase the distance until I see those mistakes so that I can correct them. Without these corrections, you're just wasting your time, so make sure you're pushing yourself. So after a couple of mistakes and waking up a little bit, after 10 good reps of this movement laterally, I moved to front and back movement. During my dry fire session, I try to highlight a specific weakness in my shooting. If I'm working on trigger press, I just work on trigger press. If I'm working on staying visually focused on the target, I work on that, with each progressive drill building off of the previous one. This allows me to stay focused on one bad habit and try to eliminate it. Since I decided today's session would be building proficiency as it pertains to target focused shooting, that's what my drills were geared to. Here, I reduced the A zone and worked on the proficiency of my draw stroke, making sure I stayed visually focused on the smallest point possible at various distances. Here I have my par time set to 1 second. I'm not pressing the trigger, I'm just making sure that when that second beep goes off, I have a good grip and stay visually focused while maintaining a acceptable sight picture. Again, I'm not focusing on the sights to make sure I have equal height and equal light till after the beep, trying to stay visually focused on a small point on the target. Took me a bit to wake up, but once I really got going, got 10 of these done and I moved on to something else. So here I've changed my par time from 1 second to I think 3 or 4 seconds, something like that, something random. So I'm still keeping the draw speed at the same exact tempo, trying to stay target focused, and then when the second beep goes off, I press the trigger as quickly as I can. This is a great trick to extricate any little demons that might be hiding in your trigger press. You'll be able to see what happens to the sight even though you're remaining target focused, and you'll be able to make corrections. And then after I had earned 10 good repetitions of that, I moved on to reloading. I did some reloads at 7 yards and some back at 20 to stay super disciplined. Who's coming in my driveway? Oh, back to the drill. A key factor to a successful dry fire session is remaining self-analytical. I feel my mechanics starting to break down and I know it's time to take a break. Real grip and a real sight alignment sight picture, you'll find that your dry fire is worth your time. I can only do about 10 or 15 minutes at a time, then I start to lose mental focus. But even 3 or 5 minutes a day will help you exponentially on the range. Trust the process, you'll see some progress. Thanks for checking it out.